You are tuned in to the Green Hornet Case Files, a beacon of truth in a world shrouded in mystery. Unveiling the legacy and cultural significance of one of the greatest crime fighters of all time. Now, let the adventure begin. Here are your hosts, Kory and Greg.
Oh, yes, indeed. Episode 8.
You know,
and I.
The season 2 numbering is messing me up.
Why is that?
Because every time you go, it's episode 7, it's episode 8. I'm like, we've been doing this for a year.
It's episode 195.
There we go.
Is that better? Yeah,
yes.
Okay, just make up a number.
That makes me
make
feel
up
much
a number.
better.
Oh, good, yeah.
Episode Splorn.
Splorn.
You told me to make up a number, so I did.
I didn't say make up a word. I said make up a... Oh, I'm sorry. Splorn probably is, you know.
Yeah. It comes right over after Threve.
Threve?
Yeah, Threve, Splorn.
And before Niev.
I'm going to lose every one of our listeners doing this nonsense.
Probably. Hey, welcome to the Green Hornet Case Files. I are Greg.
And I am Kory.
Yes, you are. And we're so glad.
To everyone's detriment, I am Kory.
Splorn. Well, what'd you do this week? Well, I went gambling, and I kept hitting Splorn. I don't know. Somewhere. Brett Reed probably had that problem, you know.
Yes,
Gator
indeed
would be
he
like,
did.
No, I don't.
Nope,
don't do that.
Nope.
Look, we've got some news to share this week, but I'd like to put a pin in it if I can.
Yeah, not just yet.
Kind of like you always said, I was the guy that, the story for another time.
I still maintain we need to do that cast.
Yeah, well,
someday I'm going to get you to do it.
Well, we could do that, but I'd always put you off.
Well, that is what happens.
You want what story? No, we'll talk about that next week.
I don't want to talk about that right now.
I don't want to talk about that right now. Hey, it's been a good week. Not an awful lot news-wise, again, happening as far as Green Hornet, although we have something, again, we want to talk about just before we wrap up. I did want to pass along. I did have a phone conversation last night with our dear Mary Kay Johnston, granddaughter of George Trendle, and
which is why we couldn't record last night.
Yeah, exactly. Lovely conversation. She's mending. She had some knee work done here recently, so she's on the mend. But she wanted me to pass on to everybody how much, she's enjoyed the show, and just the fact that we're, still waving the banner out there for the Green Hornet.
Which, proudly, we're very happy to be doing so.
Yeah, by all means. But speaking of waving the banner for the show, I did get an email this week from Nate Upcott, and I'm just going to throw this out here because, we'll get to it. He says, around the internet, most people know him as Mage Leader. Okay, that's great, Mage Leader. He runs a small YouTube channel primarily focused on the Battletech tabletop game and universe.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so go check out
Battletech.
Yeah, and look for Mage Leader. He has a strong love for our boy, the Green Hornet.
Yeah.
That extends, he says, back to his childhood. And his grandfather had a ton of old radio shows on cassette that they would listen to on long road trips. Go, Granddad. I like you already, man. Dick Tracy, Green Hornet, Shadow, and so forth. And he said he's greatly enjoyed the podcast as his day job allows him to work with headphones on. And a nice comment here. He says, you two bring a lot of likability to your show, except for Splorn. And I've learned a great deal from listening. Don't bet on Splorn, okay? Just don't do that.
Yeah,
but
you're just not going to let it go.
I'm just not going to let it go. That's the way my radio show was. Somebody would say something to me 5 minutes before the show, and that was it. The whole show was about, whatever. He did say, though, Nate Upcott, Mage Leader, said, some of my friends and I are looking to start a Green Hornet podcast of our own. And for that, I say, Nate, go. I love
Welcome,
the
dude.
idea. Yeah.
Yes.
He says they have a goal of going through the radio show episode at a time, 3 or 4 episodes per podcast. So they're wanting to do an extended podcast and discussing them in a panel, sort of like episodic reviews.
So I put this out there, Nate, if you need a couple of guests for an episode or two,
Yeah. But I
holler
would
at us.
be happy to hop in and give you our opinions of things, Splorn included.
Yes.
I do have to let that go, don't I? Eventually.
I don't. I'm. It's going to become endearing again. It's going to go around the bend.
Yeah. I've gone around the bend a couple times already. But Nate, by all means, and he and I had a nice long conversation, email back and forth, and we discussed some things. And by all means, he's a younger guy. He's younger than you, Kory. And
Goodness gracious.
yes, he's just a youngin', and I'm excited to hear what that generation. He's basically a child of the aughts.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I am excited to hear what kind of, what they have to say about it. Really?
And that's, you know what? I think we ought to have him on for that exact reason.
Yeah.
Just get your cast up and going, and then come talk to us about it. Get some cross promotion going.
Love it. Love to do it. Absolutely love to do it. So Nate, you're on. You've been tasked at this point. I'm getting ready to do some more Green Hornet stuff here. I think there's another con that is happening locally in my area in another couple of weeks. I'll be there doing that. And
There's a con happening where?
Like right here in hometown.
What?
Yeah. We'll
off air.
we can discuss off air. But Rose City Comic Con is quickly approaching as well.
Which I saw the lineup for that last night. Holy mackerel! As a Battlestar Galactica fan, that place is stacked this year.
And I just noticed that they announced Christopher Eccleston as far as Doctor Who,
the ninth Doctor,
and Billy Piper is supposed to be there as well.
Oh, really?
So I'm pretty excited about that. I will be going to the show and doing Green Hornet stuff there. Not doing a panel this time. I will be doing a panel locally here, but not.
So where are the two that you've done so far, or 3? Con-wise.
Con-wise, Lilac City I did just recently, and Fan Expo. In Portland. And then I've done a number of, service clubs here locally, like Kiwanis clubs and that kind of thing. So
we got to see about getting you at SummerCon.
Yeah, actually. It happens so fast, it's like summer is announced and all of a sudden it's SummerCon, and I just didn't get a chance to do that this year. So
yeah.
Anyway, if you're going to be in the Portland area, Portland, Oregon, not Portland, Maine, and you see the Green Hornet, by all means, stop me and say hi.
If you're in Portland, Maine, and you see the Green Hornet, it's a different guy.
Yeah. Go up and ask him for 5 Splorn, okay? And he'll go, wait, 5 isn't Splorn.
That's right.
That's right.
You're throwing
That's right.
abstracts.
One of the things that I do during the presentation that I give is I take a couple of minutes and I just sort of stop and I bring up a slide, and I may have to throw the slide up on YouTube or something just for everybody to see. And I say I'd like to pause for just a minute and take a big picture look at the major superhero creations throughout the early years and kind of get a perspective about, where the Hornet winds up in amongst, all of the characters that we know and love that have been around since the early aughts. And it surprised me when I first put this slide together. And I always see people kind of scratching their head going, really? Because the Hornet predates a lot of modern hero. I'll probably refer to the Hornet as a superhero, and some of you don't like hearing that, and it's okay. He's just Vigilante.
He's a hero.
Yeah.
He's actually, I guess on that realm, he kind of is an anti-hero too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of definition flexibility as far as the Hornet goes, but I do understand the not wanting to add the prefix super.
Yes.
That I get.
Yes. I usually do in my presentations just because, it depends on where I'm at. If I'm doing a con someplace, I usually don't add superhero to it. But if I'm doing a service club someplace where it's, they're not con, usually they're not con people, con men.
Right.
Cons. They're not cons. Podcast at greenhornet66.com. All right.
Oh, speaking of which, Ko-Fi. Yes. Don't forget.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that too. So when I bring this slide up and I point out the fact that, and a lot of you know this, that the Green Hornet and Kato first introduced in January of 1936. So they're not 100 years old yet, but it's getting close.
Coming up on 90.
Yeah. 90 next year. January, 90 years old, the Green Hornet and Kato.
What was the date? What was the date proper?
24th. Splorn.
So are we going to do? Yes, the 24th.
24th.
We gotta put that on the calendar and do something for that one.
Yeah. We January 31st. I'm sorry, it was the 31st. I was, for whatever reason, I'm thinking the 24th, but it's January 31st, the last day, 1936. Okay,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So 1936. I started at that point and went below and went above, and that has just really intrigued me. Also in 1936, I the only thing I have seized is years for these. I didn't go into details as far as month and date. But also in 1936 there is the Phantom.
Yes.
So there we have almost 90-year-olds, 89-year-olds that are Phantom out there. That green guy, I can't remember what his name was.
I like this version of the Phantom.
You like this one?
Yeah. I don't know why Billy Zane didn't think to play him that way, but whatever.
I tried and whistle, but I haven't got my teeth in. I'm trying to find my dog.
Stains?
Here. Come, dog Stains. Come here, Splorn.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know.
This episode's getting way away from us, man. Way away from us.
All right. So let's just bring this all back, shall we? Just a little bit more. Oh, it didn't. I was getting ready to do one of these. All right.
That we needed.
Yeah, thank you. So let's jump back just a little bit historically as far as hero, superhero, vigilante thing. Most people tend to agree that the original Vigilante was 1903's The Scarlet Pimpernel.
Yes. And we have brought that up before.
We have talked about that. Most people kind of default that way and say, yeah, probably was. There may be some, prior to that, but the one that really anybody knows is The Scarlet Pimpernel. And if you don't know the Pimpernel story, please, by all means, either find the book. It's probably a freebie online someplace. And in fact, if you go to like Internet Archive or someplace like that, you can probably find The Scarlet Pimpernel as a PDF to read. Watch the movie. There's several different movie versions that were made early on. And you will see basically what we've come to know as the masked vigilante.
Right.
Yeah. Good person that plays dumb or plays high society person that decides that they need to. Are you okay back there?
My mic just decided to try and jump off the table, so I apologize for that.
Okay, all right.
You want to make a mark there and cut that out? I apologize.
No, I think we'll just leave it in. This is a live show, sort of.
That attacked me.
I refuse to say the word again. So,
yay!
Yay! We're making some headway, progress. And this is not a comprehensive list that I come up with. So 1911 goes to John Carter of Mars.
Oh, okay.
So you think about, was it Disney that did the John Carter movie here a few years back?
Yes.
Was it Disney?
Yes.
Yeah. And it was not good.
No, it was awful.
It was awful. But if you've read the book, the book is actually, quite good. And
I love the book. Yeah.
Yeah. I have read all four of our first bunch here. I've read Scarlet Pimpernel. I've read John Carter of Mars. 1912 brought us Tarzan, the Ape Man.
Oh.
And it's an excellent read. Edgar Rice Burroughs did an excellent job of bringing us, Tarzan.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So then we jump to 1914, which is the impetus for the Green Hornet. And that would be the Gray Seal.
The Gray Seal, yep.
Yeah. And very much a Scarlet Pimpernel-ish kind of story. And obviously, when George Trendle handed Fran Stryker the copy of the Gray Seal and says, I'd like another Lone Ranger, like this, then we wound up with Green Hornet and Kato, which is kind of interesting because the Gray Seal doesn't have a Tonto or a Kato.
True.
He has, and I get this wrong, he has a Control. The person that tells him what to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
like a Q? No, not
yeah,
Q.
Q.
That more God, what
M.
did that? Yeah, M. Yes.
M, right. Yeah. First I thought Star Trek Q? No, that's not right.
No, not that Q.
Not that Q.
I should have known that's where you were going to go, but
yeah, well, you should have. But so 1914. And it's pretty impressive when you read through it and how you can do some crossover if you've seen both stories. 1919.
Zorro.
Zorro, yeah. And
are you surprised I knew where you were going?
Yeah, I think I sent you the graphic, didn't I?
Yeah, you did, but that wasn't. I just knew that one.
You knew that one. All right. And, Zorro, another dashing, debonair kind of person in a bit of a different timeline.
So while this timeline, again, I don't mean to derail during Zorro because you know how much I
No.
love Zorro. But in this timeline, I think we're missing one key thing, one key character that predates all of it.
Okay.
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood is one of the original vigilante heroes, and he's from 1370.
Well, now I got to redo my graphic.
I know you do, and that's why I wanted to throw it at you.
Robin the Hood.
Because when you think about it, the archetype itself kind of falls into that genre.
Yeah. The simplicity of the time, obviously, in the 1300s.
Yes. But still known for his wily ways, setting up traps and tricks and things to dissuade, the sheriff and all of that. It is a simpler version, but it still, I think, should be noted in this conversation.
I absolutely agree with you. I do. And bad on me. I'm going to be, revamping my slide here to include that.
The Pimpernel's a fantastic start. It absolutely is. I'm not dissuading from that, but I just think archetypally that character needs to be in the conversation, in the mix, because it just goes to show that no matter the time or place throughout human history, we have been attracted to those who search for justice outside the regular means.
Yeah. Boy, I tell you what, I now all of a sudden my brain is going, okay, what else? Who else? Is there some other?
See,
Okay.
I'm not just here for sporns.
No, you're. I'm not sure why you're here, but that's. So we jump 10 years then in this particular timeline from Zorro to 1929's Buck Rogers.
Oh, yes.
And now all of a sudden we're starting, everybody knows Tarzan. John Carter Mars is not as well known as a lot of, the Buck Rogers, the Zorros and that kind of thing. Actually, Zorro in of itself, the character is not that well known now after the 1960s Disney TV show.
Yeah.
But Buck Rogers has managed to make guest appearances in all different kinds of timelines.
Yeah, and Buck Rogers' fingers seep out through to creating, influencing Flash Gordon, which influenced Star Wars, which on down the line.
Oh, yeah, definitely. 1930, The Shadow.
The Shadow.
And that brings an interesting twist to it, because sometimes you have to look at the Shadow and think, is it the Shadow? Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? There are times when he does some things that are just kind of almost heinous in getting to, what the ultimate goal is. So,
very true.
And so I find the Shadow quite an interesting take on the whole vigilante kind of thing. And there's that whole mysticism thing that gets wound up, with it, that you don't have with really any of the other characters.
True. Very true.
So we jumped to 1931, and everybody's favorite cop, detective with a yellow hat and his two-way wrist radio.
And his wrist radio.
That's right, which I actually have one now. It's called an Apple Watch. Which it took us that many years to get to a wrist radio? Come on.
And, I kind of do love that, but I also think somebody was just telling me a story about one of their coworkers that answers their phone on it all the time and screams, "You're going to have to talk loud. I'm on my watch."
Dick Tracy never did that.
Not one time.
No, he just and the thing I loved about it was they always had to have an arrow pointing at the watch that says two-way TV, wrist radio, thing.
So as you're fairly familiar with Dick Tracy as well in multiple forms. What was your take on the Warren Beatty version?
I liked it. I liked it from the fact that it tried to stay true to the comic.
Yes.
I wouldn't have liked it had it have taken the story in the non-comic realm. And I thought Beatty was the right choice for that.
I
at the
agree.
time.
I thought he was, but I was a kid, so I was, yay, this is awesome, and I wanted a yellow coat. So what do I know?
Yeah. I'll get you one, okay? I'll get you a yellow coat.
You know a guy. I know you do.
I know a guy. 1932, Shandu, the Magician. And
Yeah.
there's one that is kind of gotten lost in the weeds. In my opinion.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, there were comic books that have done some Shandu. There were, I think, didn't Bela Lugosi, I think, played Shandu on...
Did he?
I think in like 1920, 1930 something, there was a Shandu that had Lugosi in it. I may be speaking out of turn here, but also in 1932, one of my favorites, Arnold Schwarzenegger aside, Conan the Barbarian. And I think I've read just about all of the Conans that Robert Howard created. A lot of short stories.
Oh, they're fantastic.
Yeah, they really and truly are. 1933, there's a couple of notables in 1933. Doc Savage. Yeah, came along. And again, one of those, was it Ron Ely that wound up playing Doc Savage in the movie?
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad, wasn't terrible.
Well, here's the thing is that this is another Doc Savage being the polymath, like the multi-talented. What is the term they use for it? The archetype, the competent man, the competent man hero.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
And that influenced all these ones that we have to come. These guys that were so versatile, ways that they handled things. Your Batman's, you're like, it's not just one guy in a mask going out. Like, he was talented in multiple ways.
And just
your MacGyvers, if you will.
There you go. Just smart guys. Smart guys. Highly intelligent. Then you jump to 1930, also in 1933, where everything kind of begins for our story, and that is Lone Ranger and Tonto.
Yep.
And the whole idea of utilizing a music theme, I don't know that any of the other... I don't think any of the other shows, characters, when they transition to radio or eventually, movies and TV, I don't think anybody ever had a theme song.
It's funny because going back to the Shadow, you think of the Hornet, you think of Batman, you think of theme songs, music, right? Like you're bringing up. But if you go back to, like we were just talking about, the Shadow, all you remember is the Shadow knows. Like you remember the line over the theme, and that's kind of an interesting dichotomy there.
Yeah. 1934, Flash Gordon, as you referenced, a throwback to Buck Rogers, and I like both. I think Flash Gordon has actually wound up getting a lot more better legs, I guess, maybe, than Buck Rogers, but maybe in a different way.
Well, I mean, so we had the Buck Rogers of the 70s that, I mean, had kind of taken off again, but at the resurgence, right? It came post Star Wars, like with the Battlestar Galactica TV show and stuff. So I mean, Flash Gordon's had a pretty good run as well with the 80s run, but it's just like, I think Buck Rogers has a little bit more reach because of it's more serious, maybe.
I would tend to agree with that, other than the fact that Flash Gordon, I think, especially with the 80s movie, was played that way.
Well, yeah, yeah.
You know,
And then
it was,
you had Flesh Gordon, which you can't forget.
I cannot forget that. I will admit, I actually have a copy of.
I quote the claymation Cyclops from that movie all the time.
There
All
you
the
go.
time.
There you go. So then our boys in 1936, the Green Hornet, and Kato the Phantom, as we mentioned, also in 1936. And 1938, this is the first chance that we've seen a lady jump into the fracas with Sheena, Queen of the
Of the
Jungle.
jungle.
Yep.
Which still running this to this day in comics.
Yeah.
IDW still has a Sheena run. Frank Cho's done some amazing work for that.
It's good run. And there have been some offshoots. There was, I believe there was a Sheena TV series for a maybe late 80s kind of time period.
That sounds familiar, but I can't verify it.
Yeah, boy, the gray cells. and then also in 1938, we get kind of where I think a lot of people think superheroes started, and that was Superman.
Right.
In my head, I feel like a lot of people think that the superhero genre, the hero, began with Superman. I may be wrong about that, but I get.
I would say perception is probably that. Modern perception.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it's the biggest name anymore, but I think a lot of people think of it as the starting point.
I just kind of have that when I talk to people. I kind of get that feeling that.
Yeah.
And when I throw out the fact that Green Hornet and Kato are 2 years older than Superman, some people are almost offended.
Really?
Yes. It's like, oh, that can't be. Well, sorry.
So it is.
Yeah. Just go look it up, okay?
In the immortal words of Neil deGrasse Tyson, facts don't need your belief.
There you go. 1939, Namor, the Submariner.
The Submariner.
I have always been, ever since I was a kid, a huge Namor fan. I guess it's because I spent so much time in the water and became a scuba diver and all that, but I was always a Namor fan.
Have you ever read, I believe it was written by Kurt Busiek, but the art was done by Alex Ross, a comic called Marvels.
I've seen it. I have not read it.
So it's kind of the history of the Marvel Universe through the lens of a photographer for the Daily Bugle.
Okay.
I almost said Daily Planet, which was incorrect.
Right.
But the first two heroes that appear in the Marvel Universe in that are the Human Torch and Namor.
Ah, okay.
It's a great run. If you haven't read it, and Alex Ross always brings it with the art. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. He will bring it regardless. 1939, probably. I'm gonna say this, and people can chew me up. Podcast at greenhornet66.com. Probably the most famous of all superheroes. 1939, Batman.
I don't think that's debatable.
Really? Okay.
I think Batman is hands down the biggest name in superheroes. And also not super.
And also not super.
And also not super. But I don't know that in this modern day and age, there is a bigger name. You can have people who don't like him. That's fine. But the recognition for Batman
across the board
associated with hero is more likely than the only, I think the only person that would give him a run would be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
As far as cultural recognition across the globe. Not saying Superman's not popular, Superman's fine. But I think if you asked, top 5 answers on the board, Family Feud style,
Yep.
Batman's going to be number 1. Spider-Man's going to be number 2.
Yeah. And then it's debatable where you go from there.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Podcast. Greenhornet66.com.
Yeah, please.
Give me the heat, baby.
Yeah, bring it. 1939. Fella's back, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Human Torch.
Yep.
So, and, by himself. The Human Torch. 1940, The Flash.
I didn't realize the Flash went back that far. Okay.
Yeah. You go back to the helmeted version.
Yeah. With the wings.
Yeah,
on
the
helmet,
wings on wings on the helmet, and I think wings on the shoes.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
1940 also, actually, there was a number. All of a sudden, people are going, wait a minute, what's this? What is this thing?
It's almost like a golden age.
It almost is like. 1940, Hawkman. 1940, Captain Marvel. 1940, Batman gets a buddy.
Robin, huh?
Robin, Dick Grayson. And, you're right. We all of a sudden, there's a golden age.
Yep.
And we get to 19.
Just pops off from there.
Yeah. Yeah, 1941, then we have Captain America and Bucky. We have Aquaman and Wonder Woman, rounding out my list of first appearances in 1941.
I thought Wonder Woman was closer to Superman and Batman than that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's still only 3 years for Superman,
it's not
38
far.
to 41. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not far, but for some reason, I thought it was closer.
Yeah. So that's what I do when I go and do a presentation. In addition to all of the other, talking about George Trendle and Fran Stryker and the Gray Seal and WXYZ Radio and all those kind of things, I always bring this slide up about halfway through my presentation and say, let's stop just a minute and take a look and shout out your favorite. And you get, Superman, Dick Tracy, whatever the case happens to be.
Right.
And I just find this fascinating.
Well, especially since it is predating most of what is in the current zeitgeist, but at the same time, while he doesn't have the name recognition of some of those that followed, that those fingerprints are sticky over a lot of it.
Yeah.
And it's pretty awesome.
I think it's important. I think it's really important, though, that you look at this and that you understand where all the players sort of fit into the puzzle. Because as you mentioned, like the Buck Rogers was most definitely the impetus for Flash Gordon.
Oh, yeah.
And,
the DNA
you can
runs
just kind of...
deep.
Yeah, you just kind of look down through the list and you go, oh, that was, and I know this may offend you, and it may not, but you can definitely see some similarities between a Zorro and a Lone Ranger.
Oh, 1,000-fold. I agree with that 100%. I'm a huge Zorro person. There was a time when, probably even right around the much lauded from me, Matt Wagner run of the comics, that there was a Zorro comic called, it was just Zorro initially, and then Year of the Fox, that came around that same time from Dynamite, that is still a top 10 all-time favorite comics for me. Zorro is an awesome, awesome, awesome character. And he falls right in this line. He shares DNA 100% with the Lone Ranger, with the Green Hornet.
Yeah.
It's a rich guy doing good, but and therein lies the fantasy.
It is. Yeah, it most definitely is. So again, I think it's really important that we all look at this and we understand where all the players fall and how the different puzzle pieces sort of fit into what we now call, our verses, whether it's the Marvel universe, or it's the DC universe, or whatever the case happens to be. I think it's just important that, we see this, and how many of these characters don't fall into any of those
Yeah.
categories.
Yeah. And it's weird to me that those properties haven't been, I don't know if it's valued is the right word by those companies enough
Mm-hmm.
to bring them forward, but I think the how do I put it? I think the cultural temperature is right for us to get those back into the conversation.
I agree wholeheartedly, because, as you know, I work now in my old age. I'm working a few days a week at a local movie theater, and of course, in the theaters right now we have Superman,
Mm-hmm.
and just this last week we had Fantastic Four.
Which
Uh,
has a retro futuristic vibe,
it does
and
quite.
it was great. It was fantastic. I absolutely, it's aptly named. It was great.
But when you also look at that list and you go, well, they've tried to do a reboot of Tarzan a couple of different times. One with Bo Derek, which was Tarzan in that one. All I could see was Bo Derek.
10, baby.
The Shadow, the version that they did with the Shadow, which I thought was a really good thing.
I love that movie so much, and I don't know why it didn't get more. Especially, it was rife around that time. Other than some really dated CG when you go back and watch it, but
Yeah,
beyond that, that movie, like the Phantom and the Shadow, came out right around a similar time
similar
frame.
time frame. You're right.
Right, and it was like it was going to start to pop off again, and then it just didn't take hold.
It didn't go. Yeah, Doc Savage was the same way,
Was there a
and
Doc Savage movie
there
around that
was a
time?
Doc. Yeah, well, ish about that time. Didn't have the budget that the others did, and then of course we had the Lone Ranger and Tonto movie that was done. That we don't talk about. That.
Yeah.
We can
Well,
talk about.
here's the thing.
I knew you'd be. I knew you'd have something to say about that. Okay.
So I wanted to hate it. I wanted to hate it so bad, and I actually really liked that movie.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good, and there's no reason under the sun that Johnny Depp should have been cast as Tonto.
No.
It makes zero sense, and it's offensive, to be honest with you. But he did a good job. It's a good movie. I don't hate it.
Podcast at greenhornet66.com.
Come at me, folks. I know I have flawed opinions.
So
but I like that movie.
Yeah. There really aren't a lot of these movies that I won't just sit and watch. I mean, like you said, some of them are dated when it comes to like the CG and some of those kind of things.
Yeah.
But I will. I still go back and watch the original Conan film. I still really enjoy that. And
I even like the one with Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
That's
a
great Conan movie.
I did too.
And we looking forward, I don't know if it's later this year or early next year, but we got a Red Sonja coming.
I've heard that. And
they just dropped the trailer for it. It looks incredible.
Let's see what happens. Maybe there's a resurgence right there for some of these characters that deserve some of their own screen time. So
absolutely.
All right. Before we wrap up and get out of here, we're starting to run long, which I didn't think that was going to happen with this episode, but wanted to catch you up on some things like the news of the week. And I believe we've hinted at a few times the fact that a couple of years ago, we produced an episode of the Green Hornet radio show that no one has ever heard before.
We have talked about it.
Okay.
That we did it.
We did it. Yes.
Yeah.
These are episodes that there was never any recordings done. No transcriptions were ever done. And we chose the earliest script that I could get my hands on to do, and that was episode 81 of the Green Hornet. It does not have a title It was before Fran Stryker started putting titles on each episode. It was written in mid 1936 and originally aired November 17th of 1936. And this last week,
first year, yeah.
Yeah, it was during that first year. And again, number 81. This last week, I received word from Green Hornet Incorporated, and the lawyer reached out and he said, "You have our permission to air your episode of the Green Hornet, your recreation episode of the Green Hornet on the podcast."
Yeah, buddy. All this time, I'm excited it's gonna see the light of day.
So excited, and I printed that piece of paper off so that it says right there, you have permission to do this, because quite frankly, all the other Green Hornet stuff that you find on YouTube, unless it's coming from Radio Spirits, and it won't because you have to buy those, that's all pirate material. And Green Hornet folks have told me that they may be in the near future starting to get a little, more tight on that kind of stuff. So,
okay.
So the plan is, my friends, next episode, which will be season 2. Sorry, Kory. Episode 9, Green Hornet Case Files. Kory and I will do a little talk, a little lead in. We'll introduce the cast, and we will air something you've never heard before. It's not available anywhere on the internet through any kind of download site or anything. This is our faithful recreation. I didn't change a word of episode 81 of the Green Hornet.
It's going to be great. I'm so excited.
I am really looking forward to it. So hopefully everybody will tune in for the episode. It'll be another 2 weeks, and love to hear what you think.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. And with that, what do you suppose?
On that high note,
I
believe we need to throw out Ko-Fi coffee.
There you go. There you go.
Green Hornet Case Files. And of course, podcast at greenhornet66.com.
Yeah, love to hear from you. And if you love us, we've been getting a little love from you guys, and it's been great because all of a sudden I had a whole bunch of internet stuff that was coming due, and I had the extra cash to be able to pay for it. So I appreciate you so much.
Help keeping us afloat.
Yeah, we do appreciate that. Kory, let's go.
Let's roll.
As the night envelops the city once more, our journey through the hidden alleys of history and valor comes to a close. You've been riding shotgun with the Green Hornet Case Files, where the echoes of the past meet the voices of the present. Tune in again for the next thrilling adventure, where shadows speak, secrets unfold, and the legacy of the Green Hornet continues to inspire. The Green Hornet Case Files is a Grail Productions podcast. The Green Hornet is owned exclusively by Green Hornet, Inc. Until next time, vigilant listeners, keep your wits sharp and your spirit unbreakable.